Hello class, welcome to Artist to Know with Professor Millward. In today's episode we will cover
Caitlin Brown and Wayne Garrett. Caitlin Brown and Wayne Garrett are a contemporary art-making duo. They are from Canada and have been working together since 2011. When not creating art together, Wayne is a trained musician and composer, and Caitlin is a co-founder and co-curator of Rec City Curatorial Collective. Let's take a look at 3 of their works. This artwork is titled Cloud. It is made from 6,000 light bulbs and has pull chains so that visitors can interact with it. When people pull the chains, different sections of the cloud will turn on and off, stimulating lightning during a storm. This next artwork is called New Moon, and it lived in downtown Lexington at Triangle Park for a short time. Like Cloud, it is made from a lot of household light bulbs. It too is interactive. It has a large wheel underneath that visitors can turn, causing the lights on the big moon shape to change. Different lights give the appearance of a different phase of the moon depending on where you are standing. Like the rest of their work, this piece deals with lights and its ability to create different fields of reality. In this one, the duo uses door frames lit only from one side to give the illusion of portals passing into the darkness. This effect works best in areas where there is hardly any light, such as this snowy landscape far from city lights. As the visitor passes through the door, they are lit only briefly and then disappear into the darkness as if they have entered a new realm. What are your thoughts on art that you can interact with? Here are the 3 works again. Think of a word or phrase that will help you remember the works of Caitlin Brown. I hope you've enjoyed today's Artist to Know. See you next time.
Hello class, welcome to Artist to Know with Professor Millward. In today's episode we will cover
Alison Saar. Alison Saar is an American sculpture artist born in 1956. Her artwork focuses on the struggles she and her ancestors face as African Americans and as females. She is the daughter of well-known Black arts movement sculptor Betty Saar. Let's take a look at 3 of her works. This work is about the Great Mississippi River Flood of 1927, a disaster that affected over 630,000 people, 1/3 of whom were African Americans. Saar's oversized female figure is a reference to women the artist saw in Senegal balancing gravity-defying loads on their heads. She is exploring the idea of individuals having to carry everything they own to escape the flood. This artwork is called Topsy. The name refers to the character in Harriet Beecher Stowe's Uncle Tom's Cabin. The wooden sculpture portrays the slave girl as a symbol of defiance. Saar has crafted her hair to be stems of cotton, the crop most associated with the history of slavery. The figures do not look toward each other and sit opposite each other. They are connected. You might even say they are bound together, tied up together. The artist may be saying that what ties us together, literally, is more than what keeps us apart. What do you think of Alison Saar's exploration of race through her art? Here are the 3 artworks again. Think of a word or phrase that will help you remember the works of Alison Saar. I hope you've enjoyed today's Artist to Know. See you next time.
Hello class, welcome to Artist to Know with Professor Millward. In today's episode we will cover
Pablo Picasso. Pablo Picasso was a Spanish artist born in 1881. He died at the age of 91, regarded as one of the most influential artists of the 20th century. His artwork spans many different art movements and mediums, but he is perhaps best known for co-founding the Cubist movement. This first painting is categorized as Picasso's blue period. He made a lot of paintings during this time that focused on somber or sad subjects, often using cool colors to create the mood. This work was done during a challenging time in his life. He was grieving the suicide of one of his friends. This work showcases the second phase of Cubism, known as synthetic Cubism. It deals with the idea of breaking an artwork down to its most simple geometric shapes and forms. This work is made to look like pieces of paper, cut up and collaged together to form three musicians. The last work is a portrait of a woman. Often in Cubist paintings, the artist would change their perspective to draw each piece of the face. For instance, the artist may draw the lips from a low center point of view, and then move to the left of the model to draw the ear. The model never moves, so the artist begins piecing together a puzzle of features drawn from different points of view. Based on the work we've looked at, do you think Picasso has a lot of artistic talent? Here are the three works again. Think of a word or phrase that will help you remember the works of Pablo Picasso. I hope you've enjoyed today's Artist to Know. See you next time.
Hello, class. Welcome to Artist to Know with Professor Millward. In today's episode, we will cover
A2Kweek Fernandez. A2Kweek Fernandez is a Chilean street artist who got his start at the age of 14. He attended college to be an architect, but as a senior, he left school before graduating to pursue his career as a muralist. He is known for combining his grayscale realistic portraits with colorfully painted vertical droplets. In this work, we have a hooded character with an outstretched hand. Many of Fernandez's characters don a similar outfit. The clothing is a stark contrast from the realism used to paint the character's eyes and hand. This work was created in the concourse of the Miami Dolphins Stadium. We see Fernandez's stylistic approach. The character is painted in grayscale, while the gloves are painted to appear that the colors are dripping upward, instead of in the direction of gravity. Lastly, we see a combination of A2Kweek's two ways of painting people, one with the hood and the other painted entirely with paint droplets. He has a subtle approach in creating gradients and highlights to give the clothing on the man a different texture than the liquid making up the girl. How would you recognize a work on the street by A2Kweek Fernandez that you've never seen before? Here are the three works again. Think of a word or phrase that will help you remember the works of A2Kweek Fernandez. I hope you've enjoyed today's Artist to Know. See you next time.
Hello, class. Welcome to Artist to Know with Professor Millward. In today's episode, we will cover
Doris Salcedo. Doris Salcedo is a Colombian conceptual artist born in 1958. Her artwork focuses on the idea of loss and political turmoil within her home country. She explores the ideas of some of her family members that have gone missing. To her, death provides loved ones with closure, whereas when someone is missing, the family can never truly know what has happened. In this work, Salcedo stacked 1,500 chairs precariously between the sides of two buildings. She takes ordinary household items, such as a chair and a table, and transforms them into memorials for victims of the Civil War in Colombia. Each chair represents a person lost during that time. November 6 and 7 is a work commemorating the 17th anniversary of the violent seizing of the Supreme Court in Bogota on November 6th and 7th, 1985. Salcedo placed this piece in the new Palace of Justice. It took her over the course of 53 hours, the duration of the original siege, to place wooden chairs against the facade of the building. She lowered the chairs from different points on its roof. This installation is called Shibboleth. It was a 167-meter-long crack in the floor of the Tate Modern that Salcedo says represents borders, the experience of immigrants, the experience of segregation, the experience of racial hatred. It is the experience of a third world person coming into the heart of Europe. Have you experienced any hardships as a result of being an American citizen? Here are the three works again. Think of a word or phrase that will help you remember the works of Doris Salcedo. I hope you've enjoyed today's Artist to Know. See you next time.